Oh, the sounds, I don't like them.
Whoa! Get ready for spooks and scares. It's the scariest month of them all. July. But dang it, I want to get spooked. I want to experience something spooky and scary. And what better way to experience that than a platformer? Plenty of video games that don't have a focus on horror love to dip their toes into that medium. From the ghost houses of Super Mario Bros. To Mad Monster Mansion from Banjo-Kazooie to Vanessa's Manor from A Hat in Time. Some toes look better than others. Some toes come out cleaner than others. I don't know why this is the metaphor I'm gonna run with. And, as I'm going to explain, PizzaTower dipped their toes in and they came out sparkling. What an awful metaphor. Even though other video games and other platformers had tried implementing horror in a level or two, PizzaTower runs away with it, absolutely knocks it out of the park with Don't Make a Sound. This level comes as a total shock for new players. Most of the levels before have been pizza themed, such as Pizzascape and Oregano Desert. You had some one-offs here, like you had John Gutter and Golf, but you know, it was mostly for fitting in better with that actual level. You know, calling it cheese golf wouldn't exactly change much. But Don't Make a Sound? That immediately piques the interest of the player. That immediately goes, wow, that's totally different from the rest of whatever this is. Think about that. I'm making a video saying why this is the best scary level in a video game, and I am talking about the title of the level. Or maybe I'm just stretching for time. Anyway, there's a few reasons why this is one of the best scary levels in a video game that I've played, and we'll go more in depth on them. But to summarize as a preface, the reason this level is so good is because it's genuinely a little startling, a little unsettling, but it keeps the fun of the gameplay intact. Usually video games will tend to go one way or the other with this. Obviously, the main point of a video game is to have fun, right? Except Dead by Daylight. And other video games will test the waters with spooky levels. For example, New Super Mario Bros. Has plenty of ghost houses. Houses filled with ghosts that provide a unique mechanic where the ghosts will only try to attack you if you look away. It keeps the gameplay fresh and interesting, but still grounded to a core, and you're still having fun throughout the whole thing. But let's be honest, you're not gonna get scared playing Super Mario, to which, hey, I'm not trying to hold the game to that standard. I'm just saying PizzaTower isn't by Nintendo, so it can get away with some different things. With Mario, you go into a ghost house, you're gonna see a few ghosts, and maybe the music will go bong every once in a while, but other than that, it's pretty much another level. It's not game-changing, it's level-changing. Now, PizzaTower can get away with a few different things that Nintendo would not let a game like Super Mario get away with. That being parodying Five Nights at Freddy's. I know McPig says it's not Five Nights at Freddy's, it's some generic Chuck E. Cheese that has animatronics in it. But those don't have jump scares, and Five Nights at Freddy's does, so yeah, to get the big fish out of the frying pan, PizzaTower has jump scares, with them being centered into the level Don't Make a Sound, where you are chased around an abandoned pizza place by animatronics. Probably haunted, who knows? The jump scares are a perfect mix of actually being able to catch you off guard and maybe get you a little spooked, get that blood pumping, but it is still extremely goofy and cartoony, just like PizzaTower. It's able to change up the way you perceive the level, but it's still definitely PizzaTower. But then there are smaller details in the level that help really build up a sense of anxiety, or fear basically. And I mean, there is actually no better way to start than with the beginning of the level, once the door shuts behind Peppino, and you look at the stage and you can see one out of the 3 animatronics on stage are actually functioning, while the other 2 hang limp. That's already unsettling to see the giant animatronics limbs limp like that. But then you can look closer, and there's a 4th animatronic at the base of the stage, wielding a butcher's knife. That's a considerable step up. And then you can look even closer. Really tucked away at the top corner of the stage, you can find one hanging from the ceiling, smiling. And keep in mind, it's really hard to, like, see because there are all these curtains and there's enemies and they're introducing the cheese, which we're gonna get into later. But it's really good at building a sense of unease, because as every great horror director says, the thing people fear most is what we can't see clearly. And the stage being not well lit, all these extra details and the curtains in the way help really build that sense of, uh-oh, something's wrong. After that, we progress a little bit, and we enter, I guess, a hallway? I'm not sure. Filled with all sorts of posters and advertisements showing off that this place used to be a thriving pizza place before the bankruptcy. Oops. And the game introduces little robots. Now, PizzaTower, usually enemies either directly attack Peppino or just kind of go past him because they're useless. But these are different. These have a sight triangle in front of them, Metal Gear-esque. And when they see you, they start counting from 5. And that immediately sets off everybody's instincts that something is going to happen when that reaches 0, and you do not want that to reach 0. The first room doesn't have any of the big animatronics that will chase you, so it's good for new players to learn about the sirens and the warnings. It's good to teach new players how the level is going to work, as every PizzaTower level is super unique. And then after collecting our first toppin', we find the big animatronic, the big one. This is where a player goes, oh, that's a little weird, might want to keep that in mind. And then there's a big gate in front of their way that won't open unless they look at the bottom, which reads, well, I'm paraphrasing, but it goes, to open the gate, trigger the alarm. It teaches the player that you're going to have to alert them at some point, which could get a new player or someone, scared, anxious. It could really mess with their mind. And then you progress into the kitchen, and while it's the least scary out of the 3, it still has a few unsettling images, such as the butcher's knife and the saw. The pizza saw. I forget what those are called, pizza cutters. But there is something here for gameplay that can help make a player feel on edge. The cheese. Even though there was a little bit in the beginning, in the kitchen, all over the floor are cheese piles that when Peppino steps on them, he can't jump and he can't run up walls. That immediately makes players freak out, because that's one of the key things Peppino's able to do in a platformer, jump and run up walls. When you take that away, there's not much left. Add on top of this, they make you open more gates by triggering monsters and alarms, and you've got a recipe for panic. And then the third room is when it gets real. Just like Garfield. The lights flicker so you can't see many details, but what you can see is the thing that's animated in the room. A hanging Pizza Boy mascot. And the fear keeps building. You keep thinking, that's pretty messed up. It's hanging and watching, and you can see its eyes popping out of it. But there are more details in the level that can still make someone uncomfortable if they're looking. I only found out about this thanks to MatPat, the game theorist's recent PizzaTower video, but you can see a dead health inspector in the room if you look hard enough. There's all sorts of great imagery and great unease that's built that the player keeps festering. It keeps building and building for someone that hasn't played the level before or hasn't seen someone else play the level yet. And of course, the animatronics get more demented as it goes on, starting with the mushroom, mostly to help with tutorials and how to play the level, but the long limbs and the eyes popping out on the jump scare can actually set off some red flags, Cheese! Jump scare is garbage, I'm sorry, it's really goofy. But when you see it on the floor and you know something is gonna go down, it is very unnerving. And then the tomato, which flies, cool. Yeah, that's really it, it's just kinda cool. I mean, I like the veins in the jump scare, but other than that, it's kinda eh. And then the butcher. Oh boy, the butcher. Not only is that butcher knife used, and the jump scare containing definitely blood, but the game forces you to set off the alarms to open the gate, and then you have to maneuver your way around the butcher. Messing up results in an instant jump scare. Scary stuff. Now, there is the other side. I'm done talking about the scares, But there is the other side of the argument, and that is PizzaTower doesn't sacrifice its core gameplay. Mario Bros. Doesn't sacrifice its core gameplay with a ghost house, but it's not scary. To bring up one of the examples that I brought up earlier, A Hat in Time's Vanessa's Manor. It is unsettling. It is scary. Developers did a great job with building atmosphere, being real quiet before scaring you with big, loud sounds. But here's the problem with this. Getting caught by Vanessa is an instant game over, and you have to start back from your last checkpoint. Seems fair, right? Once you get used to the scares, unfortunately the level becomes slow, and all you want to do is rush through so you can get to the next point. And additionally, Hat Kid doesn't run anymore, they lock off your ability to sprint, can't jump anymore. Vanessa stops being scary and more a nuisance, and overall it just loses its luster over time. I was recently made aware that there is a skip for the level, and you can actually find a secret bunker thing, a secret hole to a bunker that takes you straight to the end of the level. But there's just no fun in that. Having to skip the entire level just so you don't feel bored? That doesn't feel like a good compromise. Meanwhile, PizzaTower, the level only gets more fun the more time you spend on it. The key points of gameplay for PizzaTower are speed and exploration. Speed, you might go through the level slow at first. You might be looking for secrets, or maybe you're just a little scared and you don't want to rush into some monster. But once you get used to it, you're going to want to start getting back into speed, right? You're going to want to start going fast again. And the level is still built in such an interesting way that it's still incredibly fun to go at a breakneck pace and try to earn a perfect rank. Before, you would try to go slow and make sure that you don't set off many alarms, but now, your goal is to destroy as many of those alarms as fast as you can. During a P-rank run, the jump scares have a totally different function. Well, not really, they still jump scare you. But as you quickly find out, getting jump scared is an instant combo ender. And for a P-rank, you have to have one combo the whole time. Before, you avoided the jump scares because you didn't want to get scared. Now, the jump scares have been completely recontextualized as rage-inducing for when you fail the P-rank right at the end, and then it starts to add a little bit of risk and reward. You could set off an alarm, which would instantly result in a jump scare, leaving you vulnerable and ending your combo, but setting off an alarm could help later. For example, I could not go triggering any alarms, but these electric blocks will still be in the way, or I activate the alarms, let the monster chase me a little bit, he destroys the electric blocks, and then when I come back through during its pizza time, there's no more blocks. That's a fun little speedrun tip for you. And then, PizzaTower not only keeps it fun and engaging, with just a little hint of fear, it's still goofy. I already went over the jump scares earlier, but once you reach Pillar John, you know what Peppino gets? A gun. Yeah, now all the comments of people going, oh, why wouldn't I just bring a shotgun to Freddy Fazbear's? Now all those comments are validated. You get to shoot your way through the animatronics on your way out. Once you get that shotgun and deal with some of those monsters, all you need to do is look at their defeated sprites to know this is goofy fun. Just look at the cheese monster now. You've made him Swiss. Not only that, but during the escape, there's this new animatronic thing, I guess, which I guess is Golden Freddy, the Pineapple Man, the Elvis Pineapple. There's not really a name for him. Pineapelvis, who continuously poses on your way out. And yes, you can shoot him too. It's not a perfect level. Honestly, the thing I have most issue with is the title card for the level. It's funny at first, but I wish they went more scary and twisted with it. But PizzaTower expertly combines fear, exploration, speed, and goofiness in one weird package. There's plenty more I could go over, such as the music that perfectly encapsulates the feeling of the level, or how they got Gustavo, but I haven't uploaded in like a month and I gotta hurry up. I mean, hey, I haven't played every video game in existence. Maybe there's something that does it too. Maybe there's another game out there that has a similar vibe, but PizzaTower definitely does it best. And hey, assuming I get this video up in time, the Steam Summer Sale should be going on right about now. You can go and pick up a copy of PizzaTower for 25% off if you have a Windows computer. Now, thank you for watching, and do you want to see one more funny trick? Enable debug mode, teleport to the character select room, play as the noise, go to the gun room, and then shoot the gun. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.